Hi guys, welcome to Learning Electronics Repair and a video sponsored by PCBWAY.com. And this is my entry into the PCB Way 8th design competition. That tiny little thing there. The contest is open well until the end of this month, January actually. So if you'd like to add your project to this, and why not, because there's some big cash prizes to win, you still have a little time. Here, in fact, are some of the prizes. So, cash prizes up to $1,500. Okay, a $200 PCB Way coupon and a gift as well. So, these are the third prize. There's 3 winners. This will be the second prizes, 2 winners and the 1 winner. Okay. But 10 people also will win the multimeter. ZTY 890D Pro, you can see there. And even if you just enter, you will get a Raspberry Pi Pico 2. So really, there's no reason not to enter. I decided to enter my little miniature signal injector. So this project is a signal injector pen that actually fits in a pen. This PCB then is just 14mm long. And in fact, just over 5mm wide. To put that into context for you guys, that is a 7815 voltage regulator. Okay, so standard voltage regulator. Look how small the PCB is. This requires 3 capacitors, 4 resistors and a dual transistor. Let me show you the schematic. And you can see that here. So this is my dual transistor. The type isn't critical, but the pinout is to fit this PCB. So these ones have the transistors collector base emitter on one side and then collector base emitter the other way up on the other side, which actually means it doesn't matter which way round you solder the components. Yeah, it's the same both ways around. It also means that the capacitor, which goes from the base of one transistor to the collector of the other, doesn't cross over. There's no crossing tracks, which you would normally have in this type of layout. So that means it goes directly across here, and that makes the layout much easier to design. So these are very cheap and very easy to get, but you can use others. None of the other components are critical. The value of the capacitors will set the frequency of the oscillator. This capacitor is there to protect the signal injector pen from any high voltage you may subject it to. If you put an SMD capacitor on here, that's going to be 50 volts or 100 volts. You could mount that externally, have a much higher voltage capacitor if you wish. Okay, so let's put this together with soldering these tiny little resistors. So these are 0201. I've tried a few methods, but the one that seems to work best is to use the hot tweezers. So I'll put a bit of flux on there. I'll show you how I'm doing this. So I have my hot tweezers. They're set at 400 at the moment actually, which you might think is a bit hot, but it seems to work better with these tiny little components. And you can see I can just hold the board straight there, get hold of that again, and literally just put it in place. Yeah, let's do another one. This is a little bit near this big blob of solder, so we can just remove that actually from now. Okay, let's get one of the resistors. There it is. There's some solder on here already. A little bit of extra flux ain't going to hurt anything. And the same thing, so I'm just going to hold the board, okay, get hold of my resistor and pop it on there. Now that's gone standing up like a tombstone, but yeah, it's straightened pretty easily. Yeah, let's clean this up and test it. I was soldering those under my optical microscope. I really need to have the depth perception, the stereo vision for this, guys. I know a lot of you guys can work well under USB microscopes, or rather HDMI in my case, but you know, microscopes which is not stereo vision. And I can, but not as well as I can with the stereoscopic, with the optical. So there you go. So they're soldered. I mean, they're not perfect, but it ain't bad, I think. And we can just check this out. So that's the layout, the schematic. So from this side of the dual transistor, we have the capacitor, okay, between the base and collector. And then we have a 22K and a 220K to VCC. And pretty much the same the other side, with a 150K and a 22K to VCC. And we can easily check that part of the circuit. So this is VCC. That's the capacitor on this side, okay, between collector and base. And they're the resistors. So these two ends of the resistors connect to the capacitor, and then these two go to VCC. So in diode test mode, this is collector, that's the capacitor, one end of the resistor, okay, and then the other end of the resistor to VCC, and we can just check ohms range. So from here to here, we should see the resistor, 22K, okay. Other side, so base to capacitor to resistor, and this is the 150K, I think. Try that polarity. Yeah, 150K. It was a transistor was turning on, I think. Just messing with the auto range. We can do the same on the other side. So in this case, collector is this end to the capacitor to the resistor, and ohms range VCC, yeah, 22K. Base, capacitor, resistor, and to VCC, yeah, 220K. So that part of the circuit reads okay. Let's see if this oscillates. And it does oscillate. The noise, by the way, I only see that on this scope, the Finersi scope. If I use my analog scope, I don't see that noise. But this one was showing me the frequency. So it's running at 230 Hertz. You probably want it a bit faster than that. I suggest the best way to do that is to change these to 10 nanofarad capacitors to 4.7. That'll a bit more than double the frequency, or even 2.2 nanofarads. That's going to be a bit more than 4 times, okay? So somewhere a bit over a kilohertz. If you're wondering where my new scope is, by the way, I've given it to Detlef for a few days, let him play with it. I'm interested to see what his opinion is of that. And then we'll have another quick review on it, okay? So now I just need to wire up the battery and switch for this. To do this, I'm actually going to connect the switch directly to the PCB on this pad. Okay, ease the solder underneath, in fact. And then attach the battery directly to the switch, or the battery holder. For the battery, I'm using one of these again. So these are these night fishing lights. Okay. And you can actually dismantle these, like an X-Acto knife. When I did this previously, I took all this part off. The whole thing kind of fell apart. I can insert my battery. secure it, push the button, and there we go. So that's working really nicely. So all we need to do now is put this into a pen. The whole project with the battery holder is, well, about 5.5 centimeters plus the length of the probe, okay? The width of this thing, well, given the switch on there, and from the battery, less than 5 millimeters. About 5 millimeters, say 6 millimeters with the ground lead, but that can kind of go underneath. So that will definitely fit nicely into a pen. And there it is. Yeah, held in place, a little bit of hot glue. You can still remove the battery and charge it. The only problem I have is that your little button is very short. You can get these with longer shafts. I should have done that or filed this a little bit. But it does work. The ground lead can come out here, or it can be longer and come out at the back. Okay. I have my scope connected. And it does work, it's just this button's a little bit too short. Okay. So there we go. A signal injector pen in a pen. A Sharpie no less. And in fact, a rechargeable one. Okay, so I've clicked on add this to the competition, the contest, okay. So it's an 8th design contest project. Electronic, yeah. Signal injector pen in a pen. DIY electronics. Build a rechargeable battery powered signal injector that actually fits in a pen. Let's add pen. Build a rechargeable battery powered signal injector pen that actually fits in a pen. Continue. So we'll add the Gerber file. This is just generated from your design software. I'll allow you guys to download my Gerber standard PCB. Let's have a picture of my pen. Okay. It looks like that's about as much of it as I can actually fit in. Submit. I can add some more pictures later, of course. I also upload the parts list again from the design software. And then I'll tell the guys to come to my channel to find out all about this. And I will add the link to the video when I publish. And that's it. There is my 8th contest electronic project. If you like that project, well, feel free to upvote it on PCB Way. You never know, it might win. I'd also be interested to know if any of you guys have entered. I did mention this before. You have until the end of January to get your entries in. So why not? You could be lucky. Okay, thanks for watching. Thanks to PCB Way for sponsoring this video. And I look forward to seeing you all soon again on Learning Electronics Repair. Ciao for now, guys.